name is Shirley. According to the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, 1,825 college students between the ages of 18 and 24 die each year from alcohol-related unintentional injuries. Alcohol consumption accompanies a lot of major events that go on in college, whether you're going out with friends or you're going out to eat. A lot of times alcohol is involved in that, and a lot of times it can lead to binge drinking, which often leads to a lot of dangerous situations. Binge drinking is one of the most serious problems that they have on college campuses. Students are often uneducated about the negative side effects of binge drinking, which can lead to different academic problems, assault cases, and death. I am going into my senior year here at Texas A&M, so I've had my fair share of alcohol experiences, and unfortunately a few of those have involved some of the negative effects of binge drinking. Oftentimes binge drinking occurs because students don't recognize the negative effects of it, and they have a lack of proper education of what binge drinking is. Drinking can often happen because students only see drinking as a means of getting drunk. They don't understand how to casually drink. According to the drug-free world, binge drinking is the practice of consuming large quantities of alcohol in a single session, usually defined as 5 or more drinks at one time for a man, or 4 or more at one time for a woman. Usually binge drinking is tied to underage drinking because oftentimes students feel that they have to drink a lot before they can go out, so that way they can be at the same social level as all of their friends who are of age to drink. Responsible drinking is something that students are uneducated about, or they just simply neglect the importance of it because they often feel like they are invincible to the negative side effects of drinking. The Center for Science and the Public Interest reports that 48% of college drinkers report that drinking to get drunk is an important reason for drinking. A lot of times this might be, like I said, just to undereducation, but a lot of times students just feel like they're invincible and they feel like none of the negative side effects will occur to them. They don't think that academic problems will fault them. They don't think that they'll end up getting sick from it, and they don't think that they're going to be the ones that end up with alcohol poisoning or other things like that. And then even worse is that a lot of times alcohol causes a dependency upon these students. So they end up drinking the alcohol and then they become dependent on it, and the binge drinking starts in a vicious cycle and they end up struggling academically. A lot of times, like I said, many students lack the proper education to the negative effects of binge drinking. The National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism reports more than 97,000 students between the ages of 18 and 24 are victims of alcohol-related sexual assault or date rape cases. Alcohol inhibits the abilities to think properly and clearly, and it often inhibits your moral judgment. So a lot of times students start drinking, and then they start binge drinking because they're trying to get all this alcohol in their system very quickly, and they end up in situations that they normally would not had they been sober. Society is also really quick to recognize the ill effects of recreational drugs such as marijuana, but we seem to neglect the ill effects of alcohol, which is the most easily accessible drug that we have here in the United States. The CDC addresses this saying people aged 12 to 20 drink 11% of all alcohol consumed in the United States, and more than 90% of this alcohol is consumed in the form of binge drinking. The college social scene promotes binge drinking. So as students are really young and they're trying to go out with their friends, the United States drinking age is obviously 21. When you enter college, a lot of times you're 18, sometimes even 17 years old, and you're wanting to hang out with your older friends. And when this social aspect of what you're hanging out with involves drinking, these students binge drink so that way they can be at that same level as their friends when they go out who are able to actually legally drink. And this ends up in the vicious cycle of binge drinking. Binge drinking in college is just a simple fact of life. It's going to happen. And unfortunately, the only way that we can end binge drinking is to start by educating our youth on the negative effects of binge drinking. College students are always going to see themselves as invincible. It's just kind of the age we're at. We feel like nothing's going to hurt us. And there's not really much that you can do to change someone's mindset, except emphasizing, like I said, the negative effects of it. So we need to emphasize the effects of what happens when you binge drink. We need to emphasize what is binge drinking. And we need to emphasize the effects that it has on a person's health, mentally and physically. Drinking shouldn't be a problem or a statistic, yet it is in our world. We need to educate and support for responsible drinking so students can still enjoy the aspect of alcohol and drinking with their friends socially, but that they can do it in a more responsible and mature manner. Learning how to responsibly drink can help reduce the harsh realities of binge drinking, as the Center for Science and the Public Interest reminds us that 91% of all alcohol consumed in college is consumed through binge drinking. So in order to better allow our students to maturely drink and reduce binge drinking, we need to start with education. Thank you.
Yeah.